Mortal Kombat 2 just got moved again, but this time to an earlier date. The movie was first set to drop this October, then pushed to May 15th, 2026. Now it's hitting theaters a week earlier on May 8th. Warner Brothers hasn't commented on the change, leaving fans guessing what's behind it. Last time the film was delayed, director Simon McQuoid explained that Mortal Kombat basically became a victim of its own success. Despite only making around $84 million at the box office, the digital release blew up online, and that proved the sequel needed to go bigger. McQuoid said the new film isn't just fixing the first movie's flaws, but turning into a full-blown blockbuster. Everything so far points to this one being worth the wait. At New York Comic Con, Screen Rant caught up with MK co-creator Ed Boon and Carl Urban, who's stepping into the role of Johnny Cage. Both said the sequel is on a completely different level compared to the first movie. Urban even likened it to how Mad Max 2 leveled up everything from Mad Max, bigger, wilder, and just flat out better. Boon emphasized that this isn't just a cash grab. Everyone involved wants to make the best live-action Mortal Kombat ever. From the visuals to the character work to the overall scope, it's a massive step up. The team listened to the fans and is treating this as a true continuation, not a soft reboot. Writer Jeremy Slater even joked that if MK2 had dropped this year, it would have been the best action movie of 2025. But since it's coming next year, it's taking that crown for 2026 instead. The first Mortal Kombat nailed the R rating and gave fans the violent, over-the-top fatalities they'd waited decades for, but it stumbled with pacing and story. The sequel needs to tighten that up. Slater has confirmed MK2 will finally dive into the actual tournament, the one missing from the reboot. If they keep the story lean and the stakes clear, it could hit way harder. The reboot threw in a ton of fighters but barely gave any of them room to breathe, and that brand new protagonist Cole Young just didn't land. Even Ed Boon admitted Johnny Cage should have been the face of the movie, and fans have been saying the same thing since day one. Cole felt generic, mostly acting as a stand-in for the audience, while classic characters like Melina, Cabal, Goro, and Reptile were wasted in blink-and-you-miss-it cameos. Jax barely got to do anything, and the script didn't give much to the talented cast, except Kano, who stole every scene with his insane charisma and unfiltered attitude. In the sequel, the spotlight absolutely needs to shift to the classic characters from the original lore. That's what everyone's been waiting for. If Cole sticks around, give him a real story arc or cut him loose early. No one's gonna shed a tear over that. Johnny Cage, now played by Carl Urban, already looks like the standout based on the trailer. More of his arrogant charm, quick one-liners, and action movie swagger will hit exactly the right tone. The new lineup, Jade, Sindel, Baraka, Katana, and a resurrected Sub-Zero returning as Noob Saibot, has serious potential if they're given time to shine. A little more banter, personality, and chemistry between the fighters could fix one of the first movie's biggest problems. Cole's whole chosen one storyline never really landed. He was clearly there as an entry point for newcomers, but longtime fans saw him as dead weight. His arc was paper thin, and critics weren't shy about calling him bland or unnecessary. Mortal Kombat 2 has to make a choice. Either give Cole something meaningful to do or drop him early so the focus can return to the real icons of the franchise. Fans online are already rooting for that second option. Whatever the case, there's no need to waste precious screen time on another generic MMA backstory. The sequel should use that time to explore the tournament itself, the realms, the rivalries, and the fighters that actually define Mortal Kombat. The sequel also needs to level up the fight scenes, go for longer takes, less shaky cam, and more cinematic choreography that actually shows off the combos and fatalities. Keep the faithful costumes and powers, but let the camera linger on the hits so every punch and fatality lands. The first film nailed the grim, grounded atmosphere of both Outworld and Earthrealm with that gritty red and black color palette. MK2 should keep that R-rated grit, but expand the visual world. The trailer already hints at multiple realms, and that's exactly what fans want. Big, colorful, bizarre environments that feel pulled straight from the games. And yes, go all in on the violence. The sequel's got full permission to be bloodier, so don't hold back. Those iconic fatalities need to be on screen, not off camera. The trailer teased Kano's eye extraction. Fans expect to actually see it this time. More creative kills, full-on gore, and that signature Mortal Kombat impact are what'll make MK2 feel like the real deal. The writers behind the sequel have already promised not to make us wait for another movie just to see the finale. This time, the tournament's actually happening. Expect to see the rounds and final battles spread throughout the film, not crammed into the last 20 minutes. The action should flow naturally with the story, each fight building up to something or shifting the stakes for Earthrealm's score, just like Ed Boon teased. Shorter training scenes, quicker transitions, and a sense of momentum will make MK2 fly from one combat to the next without dead air in between. It still needs to stay brutal, but with Johnny Cage now in the mix, a few laughs and that movie star swagger will come naturally. More callbacks would be perfect too. The trailer already leans into 90s nostalgia, and that vibe fits Mortal Kombat like a glove. The beauty of the franchise has always been that perfect mix of violence and fun. The sequel just needs to hit that same tone. And speaking of the trailer, it dropped a ton for fans to chew on. Seeing Johnny Cage finally step into the action got an instant standing ovation online. The Sonya and Kano reunion blew up across social media, and die-hard fans are still dissecting every frame for Easter eggs. Of course, not everyone agreed on the redesigns. Jade's shaved look and green armor sparked debate, and some weren't sure about Baraka's updated prosthetics, but overall, the visuals got big praise. The sequel looks far more authentic to the games this time, showcasing a mix of realms. The fiery chaos of Outworld, the royal beauty of Edenia, the frozen ruins of Lin Kuei temples, and eerie enchanted forests that scream Mortal Kombat. Everything in the trailer points toward a full journey through these realms, ending with Earthrealm's champions stepping into the true Mortal Kombat tournament at last. The trailer clearly hints at a full-blown journey through different realms, ending with the champions finally stepping into the real tournament. The creators themselves have been calling Mortal Kombat 2 a kind of soft reboot, and that's a pretty bold move. They've openly admitted to the mistakes of the first film and promised to fix them. This time, they're not just tweaking the formula, they're going full blockbuster. The budget's been bumped up, Warner Brothers is clearly confident, and with the writers hyping it up as their biggest MK project yet, fan expectations are sky high. But with that excitement also comes a lot of skepticism. The first movie didn't exactly land the flawless fatality everyone hoped for. Fans of the original films, longtime gamers, and franchise veterans have been waiting years for a proper revival, and they're not ready to be disappointed twice. Mortal Kombat has always been one of the biggest names in pop culture, yet Hollywood's treated it like an underdog for decades. So when the 2021 reboot finally dropped, people were curious, how would a modern MK movie look in the age of superhero blockbusters and cinematic universes? The result was fine, but far from what the franchise deserved. Box office numbers were soft and reviews were mixed at best, and it wasn't just the R rating that held it back. We've seen other adult-rated game adaptations like Five Nights at Freddy's from Blumhouse absolutely crush it. MK has even stronger name recognition, easily on the level of Street Fighter, Zelda, or even Sonic for some fans. The truth is, Mortal Kombat's audience is older now. These are fans who grew up with the series. They want depth, lore, and intensity, not watered-down storytelling. And that's where the sequel has a real shot at redemption. From what's been teased in the trailers and interviews, Mortal Kombat 2 is clearly building a richer world and leaning harder into the lore. We've already seen a bunch of familiar faces, but a few major characters are still being kept under wraps, like Quan Chi, played by Damon Herriman. For longtime fans, that name alone is enough to raise eyebrows. Quan Chi isn't just another sorcerer, he's one of the key players in the entire MK mythology. His manipulative schemes tie directly into the storylines of Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and even the future arcs that could stretch across multiple sequels. If this second movie hits big, Warner Brothers could easily build out several more films from here. Mortal Kombat has more storylines than most franchises could dream of, and Quan Chi is not a one-and-done villain. The creators have already described him as a mirror of his game counterpart, a calculating, deceptive figure who works from the shadows and pulls strings behind every major event. In the film, he's expected to serve as Shao Kahn's personal sorcerer, someone capable of resurrecting fallen warriors. That could mean the arrival of the Revenants, undead versions of classic characters brought back under Quan Chi's control. One major theory suggests that Noob, the resurrected form of Bihan, will be one of those revenants, a direct result of Quan Chi's dark magic. It's a clever way to tie the lore together while explaining Sub-Zero's transformation in-universe. Kung Lao's return has already been confirmed, and Kano's comeback is pretty much a given at this point. Even Reptile could slither back into the story at any time. After all, as the first movie reminded us, death is never truly the end in Mortal Kombat, and that's the beauty of this universe. Anyone can return, alliances shift constantly, and no one ever stays buried stayed for long. Mortal Kombat 2 isn't just shaping up to be a sequel, it's setting the stage for something much bigger. A true cinematic saga worthy of the games that started it all. By now you've probably seen the rumors, leaks, and reports claiming that Cole Young might die. Some even say the sequel ends with Liu Kang sacrificing himself during a massive final battle against Shao. There are several possible deaths being teased, all seemingly setting up a darker, more emotional path toward a potential Mortal Kombat 3. It's still too early to talk about a third movie for sure, since we don't even know how this sequel will perform, but one thing's certain, the stakes are getting higher. That said, the road to release has been a bit bumpy. When Warner Brothers delayed the film by nearly half a year, fans weren't exactly thrilled. The studio explained it as a strategic move. They'd already hit their major release quota for this year, and pushing Mortal Kombat 2 to 2026 helps balance their lineup. But for fans who were hyped to see it this October, the frustration is understandable. The movie's practically finished. The full trailer dropped, featurettes have been released, and post-production wrapped months ago. So yeah, the delay definitely hurt the film's momentum a little. Still, calling this a troubled sequel would be a stretch. If you look around, almost every major studio is shuffling release dates right now. Sony's pushing back beyond the Spider-Verse. Matt Reeves hasn't even started filming The Batman 2, and delays have become the new normal across Hollywood. So compared to that, MK2's move isn't the end of the world. The real test will be how the story evolves this time. The tonal shift and the rumored jump in scale need to feel earned, not like a sudden reboot mid-series. The creative team insists this isn't just a sequel but a soft reboot in spirit. That means same director, same producers, but a different philosophy. And that's what makes it interesting. It's the same crew who made the first film, now trying to prove they've learned from every misstep. In a way, Mortal Kombat 2 feels like their graduation project, a chance to show how serious they are about building a long-term cinematic franchise. If they pull it off, it could finally set MK on the same tier as other big-name adaptations. But if not, then yeah, it might be another decade before we see Hollywood take another swing at this property. Because so far, let's be honest, we still haven't gotten that definitive Mortal Kombat movie. Not yet.